All praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Yahweh is who the world ignorantly calls God. Yahweh Shai is his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and is no God beside them. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone for being faithful witnesses to the Holy Spirit, and shalom to the elect, whom the Lord hath given ears to hear. I'm the brother Kahana to my left. And today, as we just went over or pretty much reviewed an experience the Lord showed us, and out of the many aspects or the many lessons that we've learned, one of which is wisdom. From what the Lord showed us, we clearly see now that wisdom is better than weapons of war. And exactly what does that mean? Right? And if you could grab Ecclesiastes 9 and 18.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9 and verse 18. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroyeth much good.
Right. And that's a fact, to where you must understand when you are behind enemy lines, and essentially, as brothers always say, you got to take the low. All right? Because if, the flesh get the best of you, that can be the last situation you find yourself in.
Right.
Again, you got to know when you're behind enemy lines, and you got to know, as they say, when to hold them and when to fold them. All right? And essentially let Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai vindicate you.
Right.
Because in the flesh, even though you're right, you could be wrong. Or even though, you might have a righteous point, a right point. All right? We're dealing with vipers out here, man. So as Yahweh Shai even said, we have to move as as wise as serpents in the midst of serpents. A lot of things, especially like maybe on a job or whatever have you, a lot of things, is made, like let's say, brother work amongst Esau, and you know how they are not outwardly racist and demonic, but it's mental with them. So if you are a guy that, can't hold your composure and you flip out, you're looking like the demon. But you see, as we just read, wisdom is better than weapons of war. Wisdom is better than getting loud. Wisdom is better than, getting into a fight. All right? With wisdom, you can outsmart your opponent, and therefore you don't get touched. And in all actuality, or in we know that the Lord, as the scriptures say in Proverbs 15 and 3, the eyes of the Lord are in all, beholding the evil and the good. And the Lord is going to vindicate us. All right? Because he sees us, being, set aside. And that's one thing the Lord hates. He said a man of wisdom that's not set by. All right? But now we could jump over to, as a good point of reference, our forefather, King David. You got it if you want to jump in and say anything.
Oh, yeah. Let's just start off here real quick. But let me add this in there as well. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 16. How Shai commanded this: Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Right? So we're sheep in the midst of wolves. These wolves is who? These 2/3, the rest of these wicked Israelites out here in the world. Because brothers ain't only located in America. Brothers are, all around the world amongst these wicked Israelites. The heathens. Okay, so amongst these people, right? Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. You're supposed to be wise. That's how we as Hebrew Israelites are supposed to operate, And as opposed, like the brother was pretty much getting to, he mentioned, was that as opposed to you know, really reacting off the flesh right away and getting loud or fighting back. Sometimes, you got to use wisdom. You got to use wisdom in this thing. You got to take the lows. Now you could fight back if somebody puts their hands on you, and that's different. You in the right, but really just use wisdom. If you can avoid a situation, avoid it. But yeah.
1 Samuel chapter 21 verse 7. Now a certain man of the servants of Saul was there that day, detained before Yahweh, and his name was Doeg, an Edomite, the chiefest of the Erdmen that belongeth to Saul. All right, and let me keep going. And David said unto Ahimelech, and is there not here under thine hand spear or sword? For I have neither brought my sword, Salakia, because I'm also recording on my phone. Right, so this is that 1 Samuel's. So it says and David said unto Ahimelech, is there not here under thy hand spear nor sword? For I have neither brought my sword nor my weapons with me, because the king's business required haste. And the priest said, the sword of Goliath the Philistine, whom thou slewest in the valley of Elah, behold, it is here wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. If thou wilt take it, for there is no other save that here. And David said, there is none like that, give it me. And David arose and fled that day for fear of Saul, and went to Achish the king of Gath. And the servants of Achish said unto him, is not this David the son of the land? Did they not sing one to another of him in dances, saying, Saul hath slain thousands, and David is 10,000s? Salakia, I should have started a little bit up, right? Because we also wanted to show that, let me see.
But I could read.
All right, Khan.
Where should we start from?
See, speaks about how David, he was without sword.
Yeah, that was the verse. I'll start 2 verses.
Okay, right, verse 8, right? Okay.
This is 1 Samuel chapter 21. 1 Samuel chapter 21, I will read it starting in verse 7. Now a certain man of the servants of Saul was there that day, detained before Yahweh, and his name was Doeg, an Edomite, the chiefest of the herdmen that belonged to Saul. And David said unto Ahimelech, and is there not here under thine hand spear or sword? For I have neither brought my sword nor my weapons with me, because the king's business required haste.
Right, so King David was in a situation, pretty much he was outside naked, as Jake would say. He didn't have
the tool on him.
Yeah, he didn't have weapons of war on him.
Right.
He didn't have a physical defense.
Verse 9, and the priest said, the sword of Goliath the Philistine, whom thou slewest in the valley of Elah, behold, it is here wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. If thou wilt take that, take it. For there is no other save that here. And David said, there is none like that, give it me. And David arose and fled that day for fear of Saul, and went to Achish the king of Gath. And the servants of Achish said unto him, is not this David the king of the land? Let me read verse 11. And the servants of Achish said unto him, is not this David the king of the land? Did not they sing one to another of him in dances, saying, Saul hath slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s? And David laid up these words in his heart, and was sore afraid of Achish the king of Gath. And he changed his behavior before them, and feigned himself mad in their hands, and scrabbled on the doors of the gate, and let his spittle fall down upon his beard. Then said Achish unto his servants, Lo, ye see the man is mad. Wherefore then have ye brought him to me? Have I need of madmen, that ye have brought this fellow to play the madman in my presence? Shall this fellow come into my house?
right? So that point stands where even David, you know, we all know he was a man of war. You know, he can take heads off, but you know, being in his flesh, you know, he had times where he was afraid. It shows you at one, you know, that is at one point, but another point, you know, he understood that when behind enemy lines, sometimes you gotta play, possum, as they say,
Right.
right? To where he utilized wisdom to get out of the situation. Now, you got to know him as the king. If he had that pride, you know, he could have been like, man, fuck that. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not humbling myself to this heathen,
Right.
you know, and got himself captured, killed, or whatever. You know, but he humbled himself just so he can fight another day, as the saying goes. You know, because that's what it is. It's to continue on, all right, with Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And you could liken it into a situation where, you know, you might, you know, potentially get into a fight or whatever the case may be. It could lead further on to you getting arrested, getting killed, getting hurt, all right, not being able to go back home to your loved ones, and also not being able, because you're arrested, you can't. How you gonna preach the word?
Right.
How you gonna go out there in the highways and hedges?
Right. And this king, Akish, he was a Philistine, right? A Hamite, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know. So, and then it said, and the servants of Akish said unto him, verse 11, is not this David the king of the land? Did not they sing one to another of him in dances, saying, Saul slain his thousands and David his 10,000s? So here it is, David fled to the king of Kish. When he got there, his servants was like, ain't this him? Didn't they say he killed 10,000 and sing dances because he killed? Hold on, isn't this him? You know, so here it is. You know,
Right, and you know he knew about him killing all the Philistines too.
right. Yep. You see, so it's
Well,
like,
yeah, it said it, Salakia.
nah, you good. It's just, you know, so you see David, instead of, you know, rising up and saying, yeah, I did do that. You know how Jake is. David's Judite. You know, what if you say, yeah, you know, I did do that. You know, and the Lord was with me. Now what? You know, but pretty much, in a sense, he humbled himself and just acted crazy. Which is, you know, it's a show of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because what if like the elder brother Maya Ka'ala said, pretty much, what if he, you know, I said, after that, I'm King David, you know, and they had killed him right there, then that would have been the end of his story. It would have been in 1 Samuel 22, etc. Because right after that, 1 Samuel 22 and 1, David therefore departed thence and escaped to the cave of Adullam. And when his brethren and all his father's house heard it, they went down thither to him. So he escaped.
This is Psalms 144, verse 10. It is he that giveth salvation unto kings. Let me start at verse 9. I will sing a new song unto thee, O God. Upon a psaltery and an instrument of 10 strings will I sing praises unto thee. It is he that giveth salvation unto kings, who delivereth David his servant from the hurtful sword. Right? And it's all, you know, as the brother was speaking, it got me thinking of how, you know, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, he can actually put a fearful spirit on you, and you as a man could get mad. You're like, yo, why was I like that in that situation?
Yeah.
But then the Lord just wants you to get out of that situation.
Yeah.
You know? And to show you that it wasn't of you. All right? Because you could, you know, you have moments where you feel like you're on the top of the world. But then there's other moments like, you know, you into a situation and you just switch up. This is Proverbs 21 and 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. Right? So the Lord turns man however he chooses. All right? There's another one, Proverbs 16, verse 9. A man's heart deviseth his way. All right? Again, you know, you could, you know, be into this sport, that sport, this combat sport. But really, it's Yahweh Shem Yahushai, who gets the praise at the end of the day, right? Because he can activate or deactivate that warrior spirit, all right? Or a warrior spirit, because not every brother has, not every brother has that warrior spirit. But the Lord directed his steps.
Yep.
Right? And again, it's all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because he gets the praise.
Got scripture because the brother was saying, sometimes you might look back and be like, why was it like that in that moment, And just understand this, let me just add this in there too, sometimes, because you might be a brother, who's mighty, but, and then you use wisdom and feel, like you, feel, like you, PUSSY, all right, but pretty much, don't, just because, what I'm trying to say is because you use wisdom, don't feel like, you're being, less than. No, you're just being wise, you see? Because, say, you outside and get into, you almost get into a scuffle with somebody, but then, you understand, where things could go and et cetera, and you use wisdom, you're just like, you know what? Nah, you got it, bro. Because scriptures say a soft answer turneth away wrath, So it's not that you, being weak or scared. You pretty much, just use the wisdom to get out the way. Doesn't make you any less mighty, Because, and here's the thing too, also with King David, right? The Lord is, you gotta understand, the Lord, like the brother said, the Lord might want you to leave a situation, all right? But the Lord is also a boundless power, because here this King David did that, but then, he scrabbled on the doors,
Mm-hmm.
But let me read this. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 18, starting at verse 32. It is the Most High that girdeth me with strength and maketh my way perfect. He maketh my feet like hinds' feet and setteth me upon my high places. He teacheth my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken by mine arms. Thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation, and thy right hand hath holden me up, and thy gentleness hath made me great. Thou hast enlarged my steps under me, that my feet did not slip. I have pursued mine enemies and overtaken them. Neither did I turn again till they were consumed. You get the point. King David had, moments where he did, do some stuff. Now I'm not telling brothers, to go out here and just start beating up people, but I'm just saying, when we look at these old accounts and stuff like that, pretty much the Lord pretty much there's parts, where the Lord, had, gave our forefathers, pretty much where our forefathers had used wisdom in different accounts. But, our forefathers were mighty men as well, just because they used wisdom don't make them no less mighty. You see?
Exactly. And if, brothers that do the martial arts, or I'm speaking specifically on martial arts, because, I used to do it when I was younger. Oftentimes, my teachers, they would always say, if you could avoid a situation and run. Now the brother said, person put his hands on you, then you got to defend yourself. However, you could walk away from a situation, do that. All right? Because nobody's more powerful than a gun. This is Sirach chapter 10, verse 2. Ecclesiastes. It says, this is in the easy English, I'll read it. Let me read it in the KJV, then I'll read the easy English. It says, a wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart is at his left. The easy English says, if you are wise, you can do the right thing. You will know what is right. That is why you can do the right thing. If you think like a fool, you will do wrong things. We know that fools are silly. It is easy to recognize a fool. You have only to watch what he does. Then you will see that he is a fool. And like they says, many, in so many words, there's many fools in jail and there's many fools in prison. Right? I remember this episode in $1 Million Worth of Game. It was pretty much how, a 5-second altercation can land you 20 years in jail. right? And just because you had to prove your manliness, you know, now you're in jail. Now you're in jail for that, you know? Again, being a fool, leaning upon the flesh.
Right.
It says, and like brothers always say, there's a balance to everything, you know? Because it's not to say, you know, you walk with your head down and just be timid and weak, all right? However, to know to use wisdom is not a cowardly thing. It's a strength thing.
Right.
Right? And you know, everybody, so like, yeah, everybody has this, you know, we all have to go through situations to where you understand how to apply wisdom.
Right.
The Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai gives us teachers to highlight different situations in the scriptures and even situations that they have went through, all right, to edify the elect with those spiritual gems.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because what the scriptures say, essentially, no temptation have taken us such as common to men, but the Most High is able to make a way for you to escape.
Right.
So even in the so-called cowardly outcome on your part, it was a way to escape, and that was from the Most High, mind you. So it says rulers. What was that? That was another part I wanted to get. Yeah, Ecclesiastes 10 and 12. People like a wise man because of the things that he says, but a fool's own words can hurt the fool badly. Fools do not think before they speak. They say things and then those things cause problems for them. And those things cause problems for other people too. And fools always talk a lot. They talk about things that may happen, but none of us really know what future things will be like.
What's that verse above it? You just read it? 13?
Yeah, in Ecclesiastes 10 and 13 in the Easy English.
I got a precept.
Yeah, you got it.
This is Psalms chapter 144 and verse 1. Blessed be Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, my strength, which teacheth my hands to war and my fingers to fight. You see, now another thing, right? It said a Psalm of David. Okay, so David wrote this, right? But here it is. David said the Lord pretty much teaching his fingers to fight. Now, once again, there's nothing wrong, with, there's nothing wrong with going, learning some martial arts, I mean, as a man, you should, want to learn how to defend yourself, okay? It doesn't mean, you go out being the most pridest mother effer out there, but also, too, just because you know how to defend yourself, or once again, just because you know how to defend yourself, all right, and use wisdom, you might feel a little punk, but that doesn't make you any less weaker. The scriptures say to Exodus 15 and 3, Lord is a man of war, okay? And I believe Abraham, I forget if his name was changed to Abram by then, or Abraham, or it was Abraham by then, but Abraham pretty much trained his house to war, how to fight and everything like that, You see, so, but see, wisdom is better than all of that, because you could simply avoid a situation just by using wisdom, and sometimes it'll make, sometimes using wisdom will take humility. You get pulled over by the cops for it could be for they could just be on some BS. A demon could be on them, and then the cops pull you over, and then, you in the right or whatever, and the police just give you a ticket. Just take the ticket. It's better that than you losing your life and going back to the spirit world now. You see? Or somebody says something to you, outside or something like that. My opinion is, Slocky, my good word of advice that was told me pretty much, they pretty much, if they don't put their hands on you, then just try to ignore it.
Yeah. They say sometimes, I seen this quote. It was like, you don't necessarily have to kill a person with kindness. You just got to kill them with silence.
Right.
But like they say, it's probably in the scriptures too. But pretty much, if two fools is arguing, you know, a person from a distance can't tell who's the fool. You know? So
Right.
you just let a fool you know, see what he says, man.
Right.
Word? Oh, hi. Okay.
I mean, if I get that, because I know I know it's got to be in Proverbs, right? But
All about the what I was just saying, or you saying something else?
A man arguing with a fool, can't tell which one is the fool.
Yeah, something. I know it's in Proverbs. I just can't remember where.
Let me read this real quick. This is Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. Now, precept.
Oh, you talking about answering not a fool according to his folly? Lest thou be like him. That's what I'm thinking about.
Something like that, kind of. It's something like that. Now I'm gonna get a precept to what I just read. Sirach 28 and 12. If thou blow the spark, it shall burn. Right? And you look at fire, right? I've seen someone held fire, and in order to make a fire, he had to like physically blow into the fire to make it, more, to make it increase more, right? It says, if thou spit upon it, it shall be quenched, right? And if you spit upon, a fire, it'll go out. You see what I'm saying? You even see people sometimes, like in the cartoons, they might like lick their fingers or something and then put the candle out like that, But it says, and both these come out of thy mouth, and that's how the scriptures is poetic, man. Because because one, though that physical description, that both of those do come out of your mouth. Whether you blow, whether you spit, that does come out of your mouth. But in a spiritual sense, using wisdom, pretty much you can either pretty much if you have an altercation with somebody, you increase, fighting words or whatever, sound like you're gonna fight. That's the spark starting to burn and increase and inflame. But if you just like what now, just back off or whatever, or give them a soft answer, which also comes out of your mouth, that's you spitting upon the fire and quenching it. You gotta learn how to take the humble route sometimes.
Yep.
But it's all still using wisdom, you see? And, because look at Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai, he was brought before, when he was being captured, he said, think it's not thou personally I can call 12 legions of angels, roughly paraphrasing, to come deliver him from the Romans and the people that were, captured him. Well, he didn't. He didn't get carnal, You got a precept?
Nah.
I'm gonna get the one of Acts. Now this is another example, right, with Apostle Paul. Because Apostle Paul had used wisdom as well, right? Because he was given a speech, okay, and after his speech, I'll read it as I'm breaking it down. Unless you want to read it.
Yeah, I'll read it for you. This is Acts 22.
27. Wait, I think it is Acts 22. It's locked here. Yeah, Acts chapter 22 and starting at verse 22. Once again, this is the Apostle Paul. He gave a speech here, okay? And it's going to start off with how the people reacted to his speech, just to get some backdrop.
It says Acts 22 and 22, and they gave him audience into this word, and then lifted up their voice, and said, away with such a fellow from the earth, for it is not fit that he should live. And as they cried out and cast off their clothes and threw dust in the air.
So far, these people that Apostle Paul gave a speech to, they didn't want Apostle Paul to live. They pretty much wanted him dead, right?
The chief captain commanded him to be brought into the castle, and bade that he should be examined by scourging, that he might know wherefore they cried so against him.
So now Apostle Paul is being brought into the castle to pretty much, be tortured and whatnot,
And as they bound him with thongs, Paul said unto the centurion that stood by, is it lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman, and uncondemned.
Now I'm going to get this quick precept. This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 22. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I. Take back in that one.
Right? So here at one point he was boasting about being a Hebrew, and now, he had switched up. Why so? Why now?
Right.
Then the chief captain came and said unto him, Tell me, art thou a Roman? And he said, Yes. Oh, Slack, I skipped verse 26. When the centurion heard that, he went to told the chief captain, saying, Take heed what thou doest, for this man is a Roman.
So he couldn't really do much with him because he's a Roman, Roman citizen, right?
Then the chief captain came and said unto him, Tell me, art thou a Roman? He said, Yeah.
So he admitted, or he pretty much confirmed to being a Roman.
And the chief captain answered, With a great sum obtained I this freedom. And Paul said, But I was freeborn.
I'm going to read that in NLT. I am too, the commander muttered, and it cost me plenty. Paul answered, But I am a citizen by birth.
Then straightway they departed from him, which should have examined him. And the chief captain also was afraid, after he knew that he was a Roman, and because he had bound him. On the morrow, because he would have known the certainty wherefore he was accused of the Jews, he loosed him from his bands, and commanded the chief captains and all their council to appear, and brought Paul down and set him before them.
Okay, so yeah, Apostle Paul, even though he's a Hebrew, even though he was a Hebrew Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin, he used wisdom right there and said he was a Roman, Roman citizen, had a Roman citizenship. Now he wasn't going off. He was just using wisdom by doing it. See, but once again, like we were talking about before, where's Apostle Paul? Not fighting back. Where's Apostle Paul? Where does it stay Apostle Paul getting tough and fighting back at? Why didn't he start cussing everybody out? Why? Nah, get the fuck off me. Why you dragging me away? I'm speaking the truth. Why you da 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 da? See, but he used wisdom. Why did he draw out a weapon of war and start trying to start a ruckus? You see, a lot of these 2/3 niggas in the world, that happened to them, they would do something like that. They want to crash out on everybody. You see, imagine that, a 2/3 nigga trying to give a speech in front of everybody, and everybody say, Nah, get him out of here. He need to die. And now everybody in an uproar. Somebody dragging him away. He going out swinging. You see, but Apostle Paul, he used wisdom, man. Being and say he was a Roman. He wasn't literally a Roman, but he was using wisdom in that example.
Colossians 4 verse 5.
Spirit.
Walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time. Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man. So yeah, the point stands. The point stands. Actually, you know what? Let me see what that say in the GNT. If it'll come up.
Be too good, be too seasoned. Yeah, wisdom, man, that gets you through a lot. Oh, after you bring it, I got something. But yeah, wisdom will get you through a lot, man. Instead of you just bucking them. Now, once again, if somebody touches you, then that's a whole different story. But if they don't, just try your best to just avoid it. Because what can they really do if you walk away from a situation or you're humble about it? What can they really do? They have nothing to. They have no energy to respond off of. They have no energy to respond off of. If you just humble it down, If they want to fight after that, then that's got to be a demon.
Exactly. This is your speech should always be pleasant and interesting. Not really. That was pretty much it. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that unless you had something.
Yeah, real quick. This is the book of Romans, chapter 12, starting at verse 18. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. And go out here, start problems with people and stuff like that. Verse 19, dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. See, so, the Lord is going to, somebody messing with you, the Lord, you man of the Lord, all right, the Lord going to get him back. You may not see it. You may not see it, but Lord don't lie. All right, here it is. We woke up. We got the truth. Prophecy has happened. Prophecy is about to happen. The Lord don't lie.
Yep.
So we're going to get them back. And if they really being a demon, you could just throw up a curse on them. To be honest, they're really being a demon. The prophets did.
Exactly. Hey, man, so with that, continue to watch, man. Read, pray, most importantly, to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. That it gives you understanding. That's really what it's about, Like the scriptures say, well, you're supposed to read, with all thy getting, get understanding. That's what it is. With all thy getting, get understanding. All right?
Got one more.
You got it.
Proverbs 2, verses 6 and 7. Actually, top real quick. Proverbs 2, verse 1. My son, if thou wilt receive my words and hide my commandments with thee, so that thou incline thine ear unto wisdom and apply thine heart unto understanding. Yea, if thou criest after knowledge and liftest up thy voice for understanding, if thou seekest her as silver and searchest for her as for hid treasures, then shalt thou understand the fear of the Most High and find the knowledge of the Most High. For the Lord giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. He layeth up sound wisdom for the righteous. He is a buckler to them that walk uprightly.
Right? Amen. So with that, shalom to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.